Boyfriend obsesses over a minor, makes flirty gestures towards her in front of others, and when I express concern, her mother denies everything. So my boyfriend has had a celebrity crush on a famous actress who is an adult but looks very young and plays teen roles, which has always weirded me out a bit, but I haven't thought too much of it. However, now he has moved into the basement of a family friend who has been renting out his basement, and that family has a 15-year-old daughter who we can call Amy. Amy clearly looks like a minor and isn't particularly developed for her age, and she doesn't dress mature, jeans and t-shirts every day. Ever since my boyfriend moved in there, he has talked about Amy every time I've seen him. He talks about her hobbies, her friends, what she does in school, etc. He has described her as the opposite of me by mentioning traits she has that he has told me he typically looks for in girls, like extroversion, liking anime, and liking to cosplay. Whenever he's with her, he does flirty things like taking her hat to wear for himself, taking her jacket, and putting his arm around her. He does it in front of her parents too, which makes me think that it must not mean anything, but the way he smiles and blushes really gives me thoughts that he's attracted to her. One night he also made a joke to me about sleeping naked and going to the kitchen to get some water and her seeing his genitals, which did not give me good vibes. I think I might be overreacting because my boyfriend is pretty immature for his age, which makes me think that maybe he just gets along with teenagers more, or maybe there just aren't a lot of people into anime in this town, but he talks about her more than he has talked about anyone else. It's constant. I also think I might be overreacting because he does it in front of people, including her parents, so it doesn't seem like he's trying to hide how he acts around her. Am I overreacting, or are they just friends? Edit. A different family friend has already told the girl's parents that she's concerned about his behavior around her, so they've definitely been alerted. I don't have their contact info, so I can't tell them myself. Also, this is selfish, but I am really hurt that he would do this to a child, and also hurt that I'm not enough for him. Edit 2. I actually found the mom on Facebook, but she has new message requests and new friend requests turned off, so I can't talk to her. Edit 3. I got the mom's phone number through someone and sent her a text. I really hope this goes well. I have a bad feeling that this will completely blow up on me. Edit 4. The mom told me that her daughter tells her everything and that whatever I think happened with her and my boyfriend never happened, and to leave her family out of her issues with me and my boyfriend. Vailp. Edit 5. I had a horrible night because of something my boyfriend did, and I really can't type up an update right now without breaking down, but once my head is a little clearer I'll make a new post update. Things have gotten pretty bad. Literally just took a training about preventing child sexual assault, and one of the major facts they taught us was predators don't just groom their victims, they groom the gatekeepers too. They need the people protecting the kids to think they're trustworthy so they can get access. That mom is going to hate herself if this plays out the way it clearly is headed. I know Reddit generally says break up, and in this case, they are completely and utterly correct. Break up, tell the parents about your concerns, and move on with your life. You said you don't have the parents' contact info, but you do go see him at his place, right? You could always tell them then, or tell someone trusted, who does know them and have a relationship with them, where they might listen more. I sent the mom a text, and here's what she sent me back. Hey, my name, I was filled in with what you thought their relationship was. My kid tells me everything, and whatever you think happened never happened. Keep my family out of your issues with my boyfriend. Update 1. I pretty much completely regret texting the mom, and I wish that I just stayed out of this. I think I really learned my lesson to not get involved in other people's business. I feel so stupid too, because clearly nothing sexual has happened between them. I have autism, and a sign of autism is an extreme sense of justice, so I think I just started feeling a certain way and took it to the extreme. So last night after I got off of work, which was pretty late because I work at a bar, he called me to keep me company as I walked home. He told me that the girl's mom talked to him after I sent the text and asked what I think is happening between him and the girl. He said he told the mom that I think they've been having sex. I asked him why. He said that because I have never said anything remotely similar to that and have never accused him of doing anything with or having any feelings for that girl. He told me that every day I tell him that they're having sex and that I'm delusional and crazy for forgetting that. I just dropped it because there's no way to defend myself from that. I said I wanted to break up with him because I don't like how he treats me, and he said that I don't mean it and I am just going to come back to him later, but I said that I meant it and never wanted to see him again. I ended up going to a bar on the way home. I'm not a big drinker and my boyfriend has never seen me drunk, but I did get drunk at this bar to help me cope with everything. While I was there, the bartender or someone else there who knew him and recognized me, I guess, texted my boyfriend that I was there drunk, so he started texting me saying that I was betraying him for going there. I was stupid and drunk, so I texted him back instead of ignoring him like I should have. He came to the bar to pick me up, and kept saying that he's tired of having to babysit me and that I need to come with him because I'm acting like a child and can't take care of myself alone. I went with him, which I regret, but I was afraid of what would happen if I didn't. Also keep in mind that this is the first time he knew of me being drunk, so I think he saw this as his opportunity to rape me. The minute we got to his home he raped me, and I know that he knew I was too drunk to consent because he was doing things he knew I wouldn't be okay with if I was sober. And I mean violent stuff where he physically hurt me. Afterwards I was crying and told him that I don't want to see him anymore because he keeps treating me like shit. He said that I'm actually the one treating me like shit and took a sword from his closet, he has a collection, and started physically blocking his bedroom door and pointed the sword in my direction. He's a big guy, so there was no way I was leaving. I basically ended up just apologizing because I was scared that if I didn't he would seriously hurt me. He said I couldn't leave until I was sober and said that I was mentally handicapped and can't make decisions by myself. Eventually I got us to just hang out normally and calm things down and he let me leave. Sorry if things are jumbled and confusing. I'm really emotional right now so it's hard to think straight. I'll also mention that I'm afraid of telling the police because I don't have any actual evidence of anything, and one of the times I called the police they sided with him and the other time they did nothing. I'm afraid of authorities not doing anything and then that emboldening him to do this to me again because he knows there won't be any consequences, or him doing something to get revenge on me telling the police. Girl, I'm so sorry you went through that. This is not your fault in any way. I'm a an anti right now. Alcohol is a dangerous drug, not a coping mechanism. It's a literal poison that mushes your brain functions. The worst time to have a drink is when you feel vulnerable or are dealing with dangerous PPL. This behavior will lead you to increasingly worse situations. Stop it today. He told her mom that lie knowing it was a lie. He did it to make you look like a crazy liar so that mom lowers her guard against him and raises it against you. You did the right thing. The right thing is often messy. You're in shock RN and not thinking clearly. Call your best friend and a DV shelter ASAP. Consider reporting the grape. You will need to get tested in the morning after pill. If possible, move out of your place, delete your socials, and change your number. Blocking isn't enough. Borrow a friend's dog or consider being a temporary foster for a big one. It's not really the time to make a long commitment to an animal. Fostering will give you the option to keep the dog later on when things are more clear. Most rescues and shelters will pay for food and expenses. I'm a survivor and never fully slept until I got a slightly reactive, think scary bark and always protective, dog. Now I know she's always listening and will give me the heads up for any potential danger. While she's not an attack dog, she gives me comfort and enough time to escape if SMTHG went down. Your job and neighbors need to be notified so they don't divulge details and they can warn you if they see him. Your job shouldn't allow him on the premises or put his calls through. Notify all your acquaintances and family, as these types will go to the ends of the earth to get a scrap of info on you. Consider a restraining order. There are a ton of steps to take and you need to exhaust each one. He has imprisoned you, raped you, and threatened you both with a weapon and with future violence. You can't take this seriously enough. He's dangerous. Now is the time to reach out to everyone you know until you get the help you need. Oop replied, thank you so much for being understanding. I haven't called the DV shelter yet because I know that I'm not in immediate danger and don't want to take those resources away from others, but I have gone to the police and am currently staying in a hotel until I can go to the courthouse in the morning for a restraining order. I don't have any friends in this town because a year ago I moved across the country. The only friends I did have were my boyfriend's friends, but they all hate me and refuse to speak to me now. I do appreciate the people mentioning dogs, but I do have a very anxious kitty at home who wouldn't be able to handle it, and I don't live in an area where I would feel comfortable walking a dog. I did grow up with St. Bernards, so I understand the care that goes into big dogs. He didn't finish, but I know that sperm is still in precum, so I'm not sure how concerned I should be about taking a morning after pill. To be completely honest, he refuses to wear a condom and doesn't want me on BC because of the weight gain, so I've had sex like that with him a lot. I have told some of the faculty at my university and have told my landlord, but I'm honestly kind of embarrassed to tell anyone else. The embarrassment is misplaced and normal. He should be embarrassed and ashamed, but we know that's not the case. Guilt and shame go hand in hand. These incidents, unfortunately, it's the victim that carries them. If you're at a university, there should be counselors on campus. Get to one ASAP. Make it a woman. It's hard to feel safe divulging details to men after this happens. She should be able to direct you to support groups, women's groups, and other resources. You might be able to get acute meds for anxiety. So proud of the steps you've taken already. You're doing great. Get the pill. Don't take chances. It's not expensive and is usually not painful. I'm so sorry he's treated you so badly for so long and then this violent betrayal. Seriously, get tested for STIs once you've healed. You'll need to get tested in any areas he penetrated, including vag, anus, throat. You can't trust someone like this to be honest about their past. Heads up though, this type of trauma makes these appointments difficult. I should know. I shake and cry every time. I just let the doc know beforehand, only go to women, and ask for the smallest speculum. I also bring a stuffed animal cause my trauma is bad. You could consider bringing a robe from home or even a blanket to give more comfort. You've already taken some important and difficult steps like talking to your landlord. Great job. I disagree though, I do believe you are in grave danger. I read a lot of women's stories, so I think in patterns. My heart is breaking for you. It won't always be this bad. Do you have old friends you can call or family you trust? The hearing for a permanent restraining order is in a couple days and I don't even know if I should testify against him anymore. Basically, I thought that he was threatening me by saying things like, if you say that again I don't know what I'll do next, and throwing things next to me. His friends are telling me that it was my fault for not realizing he was upset and escalating the situation more to the point where he was doing that. Also, he never actually hurt me, so I think I overreacted because of that. Also, judgment. Everyone is telling me that I'm delusional and bipolar, so I feel like I can't trust my judgment because of that. They have been saying that I'm ruining his life over something he didn't even do, physically hurt me, and that I'm only doing this because of my delusions. Judges don't grant permanent rows for no reason. Better to have one in place and then get yourself checked out. If you are bipolar and misinterpreting the situation, you can ask for the row to be terminated. They didn't ask for proof when I got it, I just had to fill out an incident report. My boyfriend and his friends are saying I lied and exaggerated on the incident report. I don't think I did, but they also have been saying I'm delusional, so I guess I'm worried that I am delusional and did actually lie and exaggerate things. Deleted commenter replied, "What did it say?" The piece of paper had a bunch of different kinds of incidents and had me fill in the ones that have happened with me and my boyfriend. I don't completely remember the ones I filled in off the top of my head, but I do remember I filled out blocking entrances, threatening to hurt me, coming to my home, coming to my work, hitting objects around me, throwing objects around me, and sexual assault. It's simple. A judge granted your temporary restraining order because they didn't think that you were overreacting. They grant it based on the evidence that you presented, and if they make it permanent, that's going to be because you presented evidence that met the requirements for a restraining order. They don't give restraining orders just because someone asks for them. They give them when they think there's a legitimate threat to your safety. I don't know if you've done this already, but your county probably has a domestic violence hotline and they should be able to set you up with a social worker and victim's advocate. Ask whether or not they have low-cost options for therapy. I think that talking through this with a professional would be really helpful, because they can give you some information on how the actions you described are often precursors to more serious abuse. They can also help you do a risk assessment and figure out what steps you can take to be safer. Mental abuse is just as bad as physical abuse. Have you seen a therapist about it? You may be surrounded by enablers. People who enable your boyfriend's bad behavior, like his friends and family. I do have a therapist, but I just started seeing her and I'm only able to see her every 2 to 3 weeks because she's really busy. I live in a small town, so resources for mental health are very limited.